Good evening, Mr. Ham.
Good evening, Mr. Claywell. Good to see you.
It's great to see you again, sir.
How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
And we've got in the studio with us tonight, we've got a guest.
Special guest.
Yeah,
from podcast...
from Open Casket Tales and Folklore.
Absolutely.
We got Kevin with us.
Yep, Kevin Hansford. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
How you doing? How you been?
I've been good.
Great.
Awesome. So, what's been going on in your world? Anything new?
Not much. A friend of mine, short guy, long hair.
Yeah?
Yeah, he decided to go deer hunting last night with his car.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
yeah, 12-gauge Buick. I mean...
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's a 24-volt Prius.
Dude, he has no luck with those. How many of those has he wrecked?
No, it's the first time he's wrecked his Prius.
I thought he had one like before.
No,
and
he's totaled about 7 cars now. But
I remember one time wrecking at the top of Hall's Gap and losing a chunk of his like rear end.
that was a 4Runner.
Okay.
Yeah. He got sideswiped. By another car and sent him rolling about 8 times
Good grief.
down the road up there. Yeah.
Good grief.
But he's okay.
That's good.
No injuries.
The
Nothing.
deer, is it okay?
It
Tasty?
ran away.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, it was a Prius after all.
So he said what happened was there was a car in the fast lane passing him, and the deer was in the fast lane. It jumped to avoid.
Wait. I thought you were going to say that the deer was in the fast lane passing.
Well, it is a
him in his
Prius.
Prius.
No, the deer was standing on the parkway in the fast lane, and a car pulled out to pass him, and the deer jumped to avoid the higher speed vehicle.
Right.
And when it came back down, it landed on his hood.
Oh, God.
So he didn't really hit the deer so much as it landed on him.
I think I actually saw a photo of this on Facebook, and it did some damage.
Yeah, it messed his car up pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but he's okay.
Lord.
He's doing good. Everything's fine. He's already looking for a new car just in case.
Well, good deal. Good deal. So, was this the vehicle you guys were going to take across country?
Yep.
Oh, no. And that's coming up like in a couple of weeks, right?
That's not too long off. Yeah.
Holy cow. Wow. Well, we wish you luck, dude.
Thank
we
you.
wish
Thank
you
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, yeah. Today,
Right.
we got a new member of the family.
You were telling me.
Yeah.
It's a cute little thing
Yeah,
too.
cute little guy. Miniature schnauzer. He's like 9 weeks old. We've named him Fritz. He's going to be awesome already. I can tell. He's already got a lot of personality.
How very racially stereotypical of you.
Don't do that. But I just thought that it fit. It fit his. I mean, just the look at him. I was like, oh, he's a Fritz for sure.
Does he like clack his heels together and stand at attention?
He
for you?
does. He does, and a little bow tie. Has a bow tie.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But
Nice.
yeah. He came home with us this evening. It's going to be interesting over the next few days. I'm sure.
What did Harley think when he met Fritz?
Well, of course, curiosity. Fritz was like growling, like, "Arr," and I was like, "Whoa, dude, calm down. You're gonna have to get like, used to this guy." But yeah, he's all right. He was all right with it.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything been new going on with you, Kevin?
Nothing new for me.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Well,
Well, I mean, you've got this new podcast going on.
I've got the
yeah. How long?
podcast.
How long have you been doing that now?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a month.
Awesome.
Right on.
How many episodes? I mean, you've got like 3 or 4, something like that.
I think I have 3 right now.
Awesome. And a new one just popped up just a
Today.
couple days ago, right?
Today.
Awesome. Excellent. And so the meat and potatoes of your podcast is more of like ghost stories and folklore and legends and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So this one that you did today, what can we look forward to in it?
It's got some monsters.
Yeah?
It's got some abandoned buildings
Nice.
and an abandoned town
Awesome.
and lots of ghosts.
Now, do you keep most of your stories like local Kentucky stuff?
I try to, but I want to venture out more.
Okay. Good deal. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Good deal. And it's a great thing that you're here tonight because we were wanting to talk about some Halloweeny kind of stuff.
Hey, with
Some ghost
good.
stories.
with the holiday coming up.
So we hope you can lay one on us here in a little bit.
I got one.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, we figured that with Halloween coming up here in the next couple of days, we got in that spooky kind of a mood, and
Yeah.
So tonight, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to tell some spook stories and
some legends and some folklore, and
maybe even some personal experiences. So
hopefully we can entertain you guys.
Absolutely. So who wants to kick this thing off?
I'll go ahead first. I've been kind of excited about this. It's not really my thing, honestly. I'm a pretty hardcore skeptic.
Yeah.
When it comes to most of this stuff. So, but there is one that's kind of fascinated me for a few years now, because it gets a lot of attention. It's sort of local.
Okay.
And I thought I would like to talk about Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
The notorious Waverly Hills.
Up in Jefferson County around Louisville. And what kind of good ghost story is there without some history?
Absolutely.
Right.
And history is plentiful when it comes to Waverly.
Right, exactly. And I was doing some research on it, and I found out quite a bit of stuff, actually. So the first thing kind of struck my fancy about the whole thing is it's Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Correct.
What's a sanatorium?
Right.
Right? And there's a sanatorium and a sanitarium.
What's the difference, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was kind of curious. So I had to look that up first just to satisfy that part of my mind. And if anybody else out there is curious, a sanitarium and a sanatorium are basically interchangeable terms. They come from the basic same Latin roots. A sanatorium is a facility for long-term care of chronic illness.
Is that okay with it? Sanitarium.
That's sanatorium.
Torium. Okay.
Right. Sanitarium means basically the exact same thing. The biggest difference is in America, sanitarium came to have the connotation of being a care for mentally ill people.
That's kind of what I was thinking. We were thinking more sanatorium being more illness based, like viral illnesses or whatever.
Right.
And then the sanitarium being more mental illness.
Right.
So,
And that's kind of an American thing. That's not really the meanings of the words, but that's kind of a local. That's our cultural definition of them.
Okay.
But anyway, so Waverly Hills, originally the land was purchased by Major Thomas H. Hayes in 1883 for his family home. He knew that this was going to be pretty far away from any existing infrastructure, so on his land he wanted to build a school.
Okay.
So he built the school on Pages Lane, and he hired a woman, Lizzie Lee Harris, to be the teacher at his school for his children. Miss Harris had a fondness for a series of novels called the Waverly Novels by Walter Scott. So she called her school Waverly School.
So this is where Waverly comes from in the term. Oh, nice.
I was wondered that.
Yeah, Mr. Hayes liked the sound of that. He thought it was a very peaceful sounding name, and he wanted his land to be a place of peace. So he called the property Waverly Hills.
I like it. Yeah.
So that's where that came from. Now, originally it was spelled Ley.
Okay.
And at some point throughout the years, that spelling has been changed.
They just dropped the E.
To drop the E,
Yeah.
so it's just Ly. Nobody really knows exactly when or why that happened, but it just kind of one of those things that changed over time for some reason.
Okay.
So that's where all that started out from. Now, as far as what we think of today as Waverly Hills Sanatorium,
yeah, the big complex.
the building itself was in the early 1900s because of the local geography and everything of Jefferson County.
Right.
It was just like a perfect breeding ground for the tuberculosis. The moist,
Right.
the river there and the wetlands around it
Okay,
was just like the perfect area for that kind of thing to
just
breed,
flourish.
To flourish, yeah. So there was a pretty big outbreak in the area of tuberculosis. In early 1911, Louisville, that's right, Louisville,
That's the way. It's not
That's-
Louisville
no,
or
it's-
Louisville.
Louisville began to make preparations to build a new city hospital. The hospital commissioners decided that in the plans, they would have no provision made for admission of pulmonary tuberculosis patients.
Well, I mean, you got to figure in the early 1900s, tuberculosis is one of those diseases they still hadn't gotten a really good handle on.
Right.
So if they would have put something like that in the provisions, they were basically opening the door for epidemic outbreak.
Yeah. You're infecting already sick people with something else. It's
Absolutely.
Probably going to kill them.
Right.
So the county went ahead and created a $25,000 grant to erect a hospital for specifically the care of advanced cases of TB.
Okay. The Consumption Hospital.
In August 31st, 1912, all TB patients from the city hospital were relocated to temporary quarters in tents on the grounds of Waverly Hills, pending the completion of the hospital.
Okay, so they bring
Building.
these terminally ill patients and put them up in tents.
Put them in tents
Wow.
on the property
That's crazy.
before they've even completed the structure of the building.
Okay.
Yeah. In December of 1912, the hospital was open and took in the care of another 40 advanced patients. 2 years later, in 1914, a children's pavilion added another 50 beds, bringing the total known capacity to around 130 patients.
Okay.
The children's pavilion now is a bit of a unique situation. It was not just for sick children. It was also to house the children of patients
Who were terminally ill themselves.
who were ill themselves.
Right.
So,
I mean, just the sheer magnitude, I can't even imagine. Get my head wrapped around.
Right.
Mom and dad are so ill that I have to go here with them while they get treatment and stay in this facility where other people are sick with this disease that I can possibly catch. I can't wrap my head around that even. It's crazy.
So the goal of this place was that they were going to add a new building every year to continuously grow so that they would have more beds available than what they currently specifically required. So they were trying to keep growing so that they could make sure that they could meet the future demands of the illness that at the time they saw no end for.
Right.
Due to the constant need for the repairs on the original wooden structures, they decided that, this is getting too expensive to upkeep these older buildings. We need a more durable space. And frankly, we need more beds. So they were turning away people because of lack of capacity. So in 1924, so this is 12 years later,
Right.
they started construction on a 5-story building that could house more than 400 patients.
Holy cow.
Yeah. The new building opened roughly 2 years later, about 2.5 years later in 1926. But in 1943, when they discovered streptomycin, and that started, streptomycin, by the way, is the cure
Right.
for tuberculosis. So when that was actually discovered, it started bringing the number of patients down gradually more and more and more until they didn't need such a large facility. And all of the remaining patients were transferred to Hazelwood Sanatorium in Louisville, and Waverly Hills was shut down in 1961 as a TB
Right.
care facility.
Right. Okay. So
Now
that we have,
that's a little bit of the backstory.
Now
of,
that we've
of
got
the
some groundwork
building.
laid.
So for 50 some odd years, this place was undergoing constant construction, increase in size, increase in capacity, the care for more patients, and just where it started off from was these people living in tents outside that were already fatally ill.
Right.
So I mean, you're looking at the level of care that they expect to give here
Right.
from the start.
Absolutely.
It's very obvious a place that people are going to go to die.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Now, to add a little bit to the story, this is something I didn't know. In 1962, the facility was reopened as Woodhaven Geriatric Center, which was a nursing home that primarily treated patients with advanced stages of dementia and mobility limitations, and some severely mentally handicapped people.
Wow.
That was closed 20 years later in 1982 due to alleged extreme patient neglect.
Okay. So you have all of this tuberculosis and the death that surrounds that disease. And then from that, you go to a care facility that is neglecting people. Dude, the history of this place is not stacking up to be that pleasant.
Right. Stacking up to make a great thing to talk about for our stories.
Absolutely.
Now, in 1983, J. Clifford Todd bought the building for just over $3 million.
Okay.
He and an architect were wanting to convert it into a minimum security prison for the state. But the people that owned the surrounding land started a big fuss and protests and petitions, and then that just kind of fell through after a while. They proposed to convert it into apartments, but they were counting on the Jefferson Fiscal Court to buy a substantial amount of the land from them for about $500,000 to get them the money to start, and then that never happened, so that kind of all fell through. Then there's just some weird stuff that went on here. So in 1996, I want to know if either one of you guys know about this, because this is I'm sorry, I'm not sure how old you are, Kevin, but this is like our junior year of high school.
Absolutely.
A gentleman named Robert Alberhaskey bought Waverly Hills and the surrounding land and wanted to build a larger Christ the Redeemer statue on the property. Now, did you hear anything?
Goodness.
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember anything.
I've never
like
heard
that.
anything.
No.
Okay.
How bizarre.
So he bought the land, which was inspired by the Christ the Redeemer in Brazil. He hired a sculptor, Ed Hamilton, and an architect, Jasper Ward, to help design and develop the statue. It was proposed to be 150 feet tall, 150 feet wide, and stand on the roof of the sanatorium. Phase 2 of their building project was to erect in the old sanatorium and turn that into a chapel, theater, and gift shop at the cost of about $8 million.
Okay.
Now, it was going to cost about $4 million to build the statue. All of his plans to build this were based on gathering donations from religious organizations and groups across the country to make it happen. Everything fell through when, after a full year of hardcore hat out asking for money, they raised a grand total of, anybody want to take a guess?
$50.
$100.
They raised $3,000
Oh my gosh.
of their required $12 million.
Wow.
So that
People
fell
are
through.
staying away from that place. That's just what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so that fell through. Now, when this all fell through, the land kind of went back in limbo again. In 2001, it was purchased by Tina and Charlie Mattingly. They are the current, as far as I can tell anyway, I'm not like a deed title expert or anything like that, but from what my brief internet searches could find, they are still the current owners. They are the ones that have turned it kind of into the current sensation that it is. And they are also trying to maybe not necessarily fully restore the property, but cease the decay of the property. They're trying to like replace all the windows and weather seal everything and keep it from falling into further disrepair.
Right. Yeah.
But they're the ones that do the good. Because I didn't know this either. Did you know that you can stay there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said I didn't know that.
Yeah. The current owners,
The Mattinglys.
yeah. Yeah. They Actually, they do like ghost tours.
Well, I knew they did the tours, but I didn't know you could stay there for
Yeah.
like a week.
Yeah, you can from what I can tell too, it stays booked pretty well solid.
Yeah.
Like years in advance, possibly even. But yeah, it's fairly expensive because it's one of those places that you're almost guaranteed to have some sort of an experience, even if it's, I don't know, getting the chills in the night because it's cold.
Right. So now, everybody, we're all kind of familiar, right? What's going to cause a ghost is a sudden, unexpected death or
Some sort of traumatic event.
Trauma, unfinished business.
Right.
That kind of thing. That's what people say
Right.
makes the spirit cling to the mortal coil, right?
Okay, yes.
So this kind of shocked me a little bit. Do you know before they discovered streptomycin, some of the primary treatments for TB?
No, honestly, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the predominant treatments all basically involve collapsing your lung intentionally.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, it stems from a story that came out of antiquity that a soldier who was punctured in the side by a sword, who had suffered from tuberculosis and had his lung collapsed, in the process of recovering from his sword wound, also recovered from the tuberculosis.
Huh.
And there was a little bit of, at the time, we're talking early 1900s, so this isn't exactly the golden age of science just yet. There was some theories that showed that the lesions that the TB causes in your lung, when you're breathing, those expand and tear.
Okay.
So the thinking was that if they collapse the lung, that you would stop ripping those holes further and further open,
giving them time to
heal.
Wow.
So that was one of the treatments. Some of the other treatments would involve putting a deflated balloon into your lung and inflating it.
Effectively stretching
the
lung?
Which I don't quite understand that given the other theory.
Right.
But it was just another treatment that was tried here at this facility. Some of the other things were, I'm not sure what these are, but it was some kind of bead that they would fill your lung with. Like it listed exactly.
They're killing people with treatments.
Yeah, and brutally torturous treatments.
Oh my Lord.
I mean, can you imagine somebody intentionally collapsing your lung?
No.
And not being able to breathe?
Not even close.
Right. Some of the other things involved electroshock. I don't know how that's supposed to treat TB, but electricity was the wonder cure all for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they would place heavy sandbags on people's chests.
Again, probably stopping the lung,
to try to stop
lung from expanding.
From expanding, yeah. But all of these treatments were horrifically painful. And, as we all know, basically not effective.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of these patients died. And some of them from the treatments themselves. Now, the numbers, are a little bit all over the place because there was so many different, you go back so far that records aren't really that detailed. And then the change of ownership and the change of the operation of the facility. But all told, from what I could find, verified, the number of people who died in this building is in excess of 6,000. Wow. Over the course of 80 some years.
Okay, wait. Say that one more time. The number of people that died in the building?
Yeah, on the grounds. In the building or on the grounds.
You said 6,000?
6,000.
Okay, that's a very conservative number from what I had heard was much, much higher.
That's verifiable.
Verifiable.
That's
okay.
verifiable.
So these are the ones that we've got a documented...
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's the low number, but that's the number that they can document.
Yeah. The high number I'd heard was more like 63,000.
Right. Yeah, the numbers are all over the place.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's just the ones that they can go back and find the paperwork for. And some of them, they're from the early 1912, 19. I mean,
Right.
Those
They didn't-
records just didn't survive.
Right.
So
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And then some people, like originally, were in tents on the grounds. They weren't even in the building. So did they even bother keeping records on those people?
Very
the
true.
children who weren't admitted because they were there simply for their parents, are records kept on the? I mean, I don't know
Exactly.
the numbers,
Right.
But verified at least. The minimum number is 6,000.
That's insane, right?
And that's
there
for
by
one
itself.
building.
Yeah, that's by itself.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for one building for the time span of roughly 70 some odd years.
Right. Holy cow.
Right. So, you got brutal, painful, torturous deaths. Because even if the treatments weren't painful, even if you declined all treatments,
Right.
the disease itself is horrifyingly painful.
Right. I mean, your lungs are literally ripping themselves to pieces.
and you're drowning.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Waverly, I mean, it's notorious for being like the most haunted spot pretty much on the planet.
Well, in Kentucky anyway.
Well, I mean, it's one of those that has a reputation. No matter where you go, people know Waverly because it is.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and the amount of suffering and things that took place there, I can see why.
Right. So let's get into the ghost part of the ghost stories.
Awesome.
Right?
Sounds
so
great.
here's some of the specifics. If you're brave enough to go spend some time at Waverly Hills, you may encounter. I'll start with the two most specific, famous ones.
Okay. So
Now that Waverly Hills is a tourist attraction and is reportedly the home to several ghosts, I'm just going to talk about a couple of them. There's consistent stories that have come out as people have gone through and visited. One of the tales is about a little boy who has come to be called Timmy.
I've heard of
The
him.
legend is that he's about 6 or 7 years old, and he died at Waverly Hills, but has not moved on.
Right.
And the thing with Timmy is he loves to play with balls.
Mm-hmm.
And people bring him various sizes and shapes of balls. Baseballs, bouncy balls, jack balls,
Specifically,
inflated balls.
I've from what I've seen and what I've heard, he specifically really likes the little bouncy balls, the light ones.
Right.
Yes.
Well, spectral energy is hard to manipulate physical matter, so the lighter, the better, the easier for him to play with.
Exactly.
Naturally.
It makes sense, right?
Naturally. But people bring the balls and they lay them on the ground, and you can see them sometimes seem to move on their own with no discernible outside interference with them. Now, of course, critics,
Yeah, those
and
things.
skeptics, those two things combined would be a scritic.
New word.
New words.
Coined.
Such as myself. I will say I do consider myself a skeptic when it comes to most of this stuff. Unless you're there yourself, and sometimes
Right.
even if you are there yourself, you have to wonder, like, is it an uneven floor? Is there a draft? Is
You're right.
something else going on there? Because, I mean, do you really believe that a ghost boy is playing with a ball?
I've had my own strange experiences with things, so, and I'll talk about one in a little bit.
Okay.
So,
So that's one of the more popular ones. Another one is specifically centered around a geolocation, room 502 in the building. Allegedly, there was a female nurse who worked at the facility caring for the patients. The legend is became pregnant from one of the doctors in the building,
right.
and then he didn't want anything to do with her. And in the early 1900s, this was a big deal, right? You don't have a child out of wedlock. That's just something you just don't do.
That's a big no-no.
Yeah,
Right.
very taboo.
So she got distressed and distraught, and not only did she get pregnant, she also contracted tuberculosis from caring for the patients.
Which could possibly pass on to the unborn child, which just
So
It's a spiral.
in all of the, the child, the unwed, the disease, what am I going to do? She just couldn't take it anymore. And she jumped out of the window in room 502.
Okay.
And to this day,
So that's a five-story plunge.
50 feet.
Yep.
To this day, though, supposedly, you can see Nurse Mary Lee standing around in room 502, distressed over what she's going to do. Now, some people claim she didn't jump, that she hanged herself.
I've heard that. I've heard 3 different versions of that story. I've
So-
heard jumped from the window, hanged in the room, and that was the room where I also heard that was the room where she decided that she was going to end it and jumped down the elevator shaft of the building.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really documented well what exactly happened to her.
Right.
Or was she threatening the doctor to go public and he decided that he wasn't going to have it anymore?
This is possible as well.
Nobody really knows. But allegedly, you can still see her in room 502. There is also what has come to be termed the death tunnel.
I love this one. This is so morbid and so disturbing.
Right. So Kevin, do you know the original purpose for this structure?
I'm thinking it was for deliveries.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
food
Yeah.
deliveries and
It was
things like that.
originally
Yeah.
for the wintertime food deliveries because it's on a hill. It was hard to lug all the supplies up the hill in the snow.
Right.
So they made this tunnel.
Yeah,
So
they put a pulley system inside it with
Right.
a little cart. You just put things on it, bring them up, put them back down. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Now, so allegedly, this is now a paranormal hotspot. You can see unexplained shadows. You can hear footsteps with no source. You can hear disembodied voices. And it's also known to provide those so inclined with the technology and whatnot with EVP recordings. Which I forget what that stands for.
Electronic voice phenomena.
Well, there you go. The Mattingleys plan to turn it into a 4-star hotel, which caters to history buffs and those intrigued with the supernatural. Some people who are into the supernatural worry that this is going to affect the supernatural energies of the building and drive out those forces. But given the amount of people that already come through there, it doesn't seem very likely that that's going to happen.
Right. Dude, it's one of those places that it's a moneymaker right now.
Oh, yes. Well, especially since the Atlantic Paranormal Society with their TV show, Ghost Hunters.
Taps. Grant.
Jason and Grant.
Yeah. They
their-
have
and
been
their
there.
little crew.
Yeah, and they've been there. I want to say they did 2 years in a row. The live performance that they do, like on
The
Halloween.
Halloween, yep.
Yeah, it starts at like 8 o'clock at night, runs through daybreak. About it,
Yep.
4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And allegedly, I did find some of the stuff that they had recorded. They found some EVPs from the 5th floor.
Yeah,
They maybe caught something on the thermal imaging camera in a hallway that was about 3 feet tall,
right.
which could be Timmy sized.
I think I watched that episode. I watched
I
when
did
that was
too.
going. Yeah, it's creepy. The things that they see in that place. You have anything from shadow people.
They got some shadows in a doorway.
Yeah.
They got
You have odd sounds. You have spectral voices and EVPs that show up.
Okay.
You have odd movement of items. There are so many
You
things.
can even get odd smells.
Yeah,
even.
odd smells in there. It's just that's one of those. If you really are skeptical about the paranormal, go to that place and spend a little bit of time. And I'm not going to say it's going to convince you, but there's a good chance you're going to experience something. And it may not convince you that there is a ghost out there, but if nothing else, you'll get to say, that was odd.
Well, now I will say that watching the Ghost Hunter show, I did notice that there were very few places that they did come back and say this place is haunted.
Very few.
this is one of the places that they did say was haunted.
Yeah, there's a handful of them. Not very many. There's a handful. One of the most notorious, and this is completely a sidetrack from this, but the Taps. I love to watch their show and love to see the places that they go. The old Birdcage Theater in Tombstone was another one that they had no doubts that they were going to say this is haunted because of the things that they caught. But Waverly really, really is one of those that the amount of evidence piles up. I mean, once you get to a certain point, you got to say, okay, there's something.
Right on.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's not something. I'm just at heart a skeptic. But this place does fascinate me because of the preponderance of witness testimonies, and
it's everywhere.
Right. There's way too many people to be saying something's going on here for there to be nothing going on here.
Yeah. True enough.
Right.
So I'm all for, if anybody that we know has been there and has personal experience, if you want to share that with us, I would love to hear it. Even though I'm a skeptic, I am keen on this stuff. I do kind of like to read and study on this stuff. So
I actually have a buddy on Facebook, actually a girl that I grew up just down the road from, that went, I want to say this past summer. It was either this past summer or this past spring, and spent the night at Waverly with Josh Gates. He was there with them.
Gatesy?
Yeah.
Destination
Truth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was up there, and she posted pictures all over her Facebook page of all of the things, and they had some experiences through the night. Some interesting things happened. So
Nice.
Hopefully she'll listen and post some things.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'm all about. I am a skeptic, but that doesn't mean that I have no interest.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, anything like this, in my opinion, is interesting. If nothing else, just to go out and go, have some fun with it and go, okay, let's see if there's something there.
Right. And when I say I'm a skeptic, it doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically assume somebody's lying to me or you're full of it. It just means that I have a harder time just taking things at somebody else's word. I want to experience it myself.
Right. Awesome.
So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. So, Kevin,
Yep.
what have you got for us tonight, man?
Well, this one's called The Ghost Bride of Cumberland Falls.
Oh, okay. Cumberland Falls. That's just like right down the road.
Right down the road. It's in Corbin.
Yeah.
Right.
In between Corbin, like right on the Whitley County, McCreary County line. Like it's like the dividing line.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got some pictures of the moonbow from there.
You do indeed. Yeah.
You didn't see a ghost while you was there, did you?
I didn't even see the moonbow, but I got a picture of it. Maybe I got a picture of a ghost and I just didn't see it. But no, I didn't see a ghost while I was there. There were about 8 million people down there when I was there. So it was hard. It was hard to say anything for sure, other than people were stepping on me and bumping my camera and really making me mad.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say it's pretty popular.
Yeah.
So the story starts in the 1950s.
So this is kind of recent.
Yeah. There was a couple that just got married. They went to stay in one of the cabins.
So these cabins probably the ones that are up at DuPont Lodge. That kind of
I would say
falls.
so.
Yeah.
I would
okay.
say.
Yeah.
They were still in their wedding clothes. They decided to go out and get pictures still in their wedding clothes.
Okay.
The girl was dancing around, jumping around, just being excited that she got married to the love of her life. She's going to get to spend the rest of her life with the guy she loves.
Right.
Well, she slipped and fell. She hit her head on the rocks.
And over the falls she went.
Fell into the water and then died.
Tragic.
Yeah. And nowadays they say that you can see her on top of the cliff. There's also a road that goes through the cliff, and they say that late at night, drivers coming through sometimes see her run at the vehicle, and then they stop,
Well, yeah.
and she disappears.
Some woman come running at my car on the
In
side
the
of
dead
a
of
cliff
night,
in the middle of
yeah.
the night. I'd stop too.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'm from over in that area. Like I'm from McCrae County. I don't hold that. Never mind. So anyway, I'm from McCrae County, and I've been like I used to do a lot of camping and fishing and all that kind of stuff and hiking over by the falls. And I'm trying to think of where the road is that goes through. I'm wondering if it's part of like the cuts that go up through there, because there are some pretty deep cuts in that cliff line over there.
Yeah.
And there are some places over there that I'm just going to say that if you were to lose your footing, you're done.
Right.
100%. It's over with for you.
Right.
So I can see where, a tragic accident like that could definitely happen easily. And I mean, I can even remember like myself as a kid back before they had all the ropes up where you couldn't play above the falls. Dude, I used to.
You still can. You're not supposed to, but you can still get out there.
You can, but they really don't want you to be in the water above the falls. And when I was a kid, we're talking like 5-6 years old, we used to play in the water above the falls.
Yeah.
Dude, it's an 80-foot drop. One slip, and we would have gone over. It's dangerous, or it was and still is, but man, that's wild. That is wild.
Yeah.
So has anybody else ever like wrecked or anything because this woman comes running at them?
I haven't heard of anything else, like anybody wrecking or anything.
Just basically
So
her
that
showing
she just
up.
disappears.
Yeah. And they also say when the moonbow is present, you can see a ghostly figure in a wedding gown rising up out of the water.
Now,
Which is why I asked you.
I sure didn't see that.
Awesome. Like I say, there's some of those spots that are around here that I really like. And you don't think about them being haunted, like the tourist attractions around here.
Cumberland Falls.
Cumberland Falls, yeah.
So now I know you looked this up for us and you're telling us this story, but has there been any, like, what is the question I'm trying to ask here? How do they know this is the bride? Like, if she fell off the cliff, how is she? Like,
What's her
links
identifier
to the road?
What's her markers?
Right. Like, yeah. Like, I'm just trying to figure out how she gets up on the road.
Well, she's a ghost. She just flies.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I walked right
so
into
now-
that one.
So I'm going to expand on it a little bit, because there's a few things that I've heard also, not necessarily about the falls itself, but about DuPont Lodge, which is the hotel above the falls, which is where these cabins are located. So my mom and dad both worked there. Mom worked in, I want to say, the gift shop. Dad was working in the kitchen. He worked as like, and this is like the early 70s that they were working there. And the whole place has a weird vibe, has a weird feel to it. It's almost like it's one of those, like going in and to the hotel where The Shining was or something.
It almost has like a tension to it.
It does. There's a tension there, and everything seems to close in. Everything, like all the corridors, seemed narrow. Your field of view and your focus is in these areas that is just odd. From what Dad says, he always told stories of people that had fallen at the Overlook section, because you guys have been there and seen the Overlook.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. No.
If you've not seen the Overlook, it's a good from the Overlook down to the river. I would say you're probably looking at a drop of 1,500 feet, maybe.
Wow.
It is massive. Now, of course, it's not like looking straight down at the river. You're looking kind of at an angle. But, I mean, it's a steep cliff that's right there at the Overlook. And he's told stories of people that have fallen off of that, and that they are supposed to still haunt the hotel, and just all kinds of creepy things that revolve around DuPont Lodge Hotel. And, I mean, like I say, I've been there quite a few times. The place gives you the creeps. It really does.
Now, I've got a story on that.
Okay.
Me, my mom, my dad, and my stepson went one Sunday to eat at the lodge.
At the lodge, yeah.
I took my stepson to the bathroom because he's 4.
Uh-huh.
My dad came in after we walked in.
Right.
We were in the bathroom, and he felt a hand touch his shoulder. And he turned around, and there's no
things.
one there.
Yeah.
We were the
creepy
only 3 in
things
the
in that
bathroom.
hotel. we had, whenever I was in high school, I was in ROTC a couple of years, and we had the, what do they call the military ball? It was like the formal dance that they have for ROTC there. And they hosted it at DuPont Lodge because they have this big banquet hall and all that kind of stuff there. And dude, like there was a few of us that just kind of left and left the party and just kind of wandered around the grounds.
Right.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is creepy. That place will give you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is state troopers don't have balls, but ROTC.
ROTC has balls,
Okay.
but state troopers do not. No.
I got you.
Awesome. Yeah. I wouldn't think of that area as being necessarily like, especially the falls itself. But
The place is so beautiful.
It is. It's
And,
gorgeous.
Yeah. And then you have tragedy like that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
One of my best friends in the world, David Wilson, lives out in Montana, right? There was
He
someone,
lives like on a big chunk of ice, right?
by the way, that son of a gun right now is in Hawaii.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen that? Oh, God love him. He posted a picture earlier that looks like a scene from Lost, and he's like, "There's got to be a hatch around here somewhere." I was like, "That's pretty good."
Nice.
So, anyway, as I was saying, David, he used to work for the whitewater rafting crew that takes you downriver.
Oh yeah.
There was a guy that went over the falls, and it was days before he was found. Unfortunately for Dave, they were the guys that found him, the raft guides. He was up on, like, washed up on a rock, and guess who they left behind?
Who?
Good old Dave. Left him behind
Oh, man.
with this
Poor
dead
Dave.
body
Poor Davis.
for like half the day, because the raft trip downriver is a half day trip, and there's no like contact with anyone until you get back to the boat. So so they're like, all right, Dave, we're gonna tie your kayak up here to our boat. We're heading on down. You got to stay here. We'll send back someone to get you with this guy. And
That'd be creepy.
yeah,
No thanks.
yeah,
I'm going with you guys.
yeah. Dave said that was one of the worst days of his life. Just
I
sitting
can
there with
imagine.
a dead body. Crazy.
Didn't like recently, like a year or so ago, somebody went over the falls and actually survived. I think they got arrested. But
We've got, I mean, I've seen video of people go over the falls in kayaks. Like,
crazy.
it's considered a class 5 rapid.
Yeah,
People can run it. And there's a standing wave right at the top of it that they surf, and then they'll flip around and go over the falls, 80-foot drop, and live to tell about it.
Yeah. People have gone off it in barrels.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's insane.
I think it is illegal to go over it though.
It probably is.
I think they arrested the guy afterwards.
I don't doubt it. They should have. He was crazy.
Yeah.
They should have locked him up. I mean, menace to society.
Thrill seekers.
Yeah, God love them. So, my turn, right?
Let's hit. What have you drug up from Arkansas?
Okay, so Arkansas is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place, right? You have the Ozarks, beautiful mountains. And years ago, I used to work for the big box store that has a headquarters in a little town out there in northwest Arkansas called Bentonville.
Yep.
Whenever I went into management for them, they sent me to Bentonville for 2 weeks for training. I had the first week was working in not in the lab. First week I was working in like operations. Then the second week it was in the lab. When you get to class, what they do is
Well, they're doing their own genetic modifications now?
pretty much, yeah. Photo lab. I was learning how
okay.
to print and photographs.
I got you. Okay.
Okay, so when you get there, on your desk, they had a pile of film and cameras, like little disposables and things like that, little digital camera. They had all of these things, and they're like, use these over the next week to 2 weeks, and then when you get to the lab section of it, this is the film you're going to develop. And we're like, awesome. They gave us like 110 film, 35 millimeter film. We had a 126. Have you ever seen a 126?
No, but I've seen the other two you just said.
We had disc, the old disc film. We had all kinds of. Now, mind you, this was 2004, so we're talking about the birth of digital happening right at that point.
I was just getting ready to ask, what's film?
Yeah, so I'll show you sometime. I've got some of it at the house. It's like hung up on the wall in a picture frame. It's like historical stuff, you know.
Oh.
Okay, so anyway,
I thought it was just the stuff that gets on my windows when I don't clean them.
It's a dinosaur, I believe.
it's when Harley licks my windows. I get a film on.
Right, yeah, the film, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, give us this pile of film. They said go out and use it. The only day that they gave us off during the 2 weeks was Sunday. And even on Sunday morning, we had to go in that morning for a meeting, and then we were off the rest of the day. So after the meeting on Sunday, we as a group, there was like 6 or 7 of us, and we had one of the big vans, you know, like a church bus type van. We were like, where do we go? What are we going to do? We've already seen the town. The whole place is run by this company, and we've seen this now. So let's go out and have some fun. So we looked on the map and found this little place called Eureka Springs. And Eureka Springs is kind of like the Gatlinburg of the Ozarks. It is
cool.
An awesome, beautiful, beautiful little town. It's just kind of nestled in to this valley. They have natural hot springs there, and it is just picturesque. It's got the little shops that are, you know, unique to the area. And it was an odd thing that you talked about the statue in Brazil.
Christ the Redeemer.
Because there is a replica of Christ the Redeemer that overlooks Eureka Springs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
On the exact opposite hill from Christ the Redeemer statue is a hotel called the Crescent Hotel. Now, I had no idea anything about this place. I'd never heard of the Crescent Hotel. I had never heard of Eureka Springs before we went there. And then so we drove around the town. We went to the little shops. We just kind of spent the day there, and we kept seeing it on top of the hill up above us. And we were like, we got to find that place. We got to figure out how to get up there. So eventually we snake our way around up through the mountains, and we find the road that leads up to the Crescent Hotel. And when we get up there, we find this 5-story hotel that looks like something. Honest to God, it looks like the castle out of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what this hotel looked like from our vantage point.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hello. So it was like spooky looking, to say the least, and that's what we keep seeing. From this place. I mean, it's Gothic. It's got these really, really like tall spires, and just really, 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 really spooky. So when we get up there, we pull into the parking lot, and we're like, okay, let's go take a look at this place. We're going to go in and walk around in the lobby, if nothing else. Maybe if they've got something, like a dining room area, we may grab some food there. And so we all pile out of the van and head toward the front door, and I make it inside. Like, we're talking like you walked through the front door and into where the little desk is for you to check in, before I was physically ill, like almost ready to throw up, dizzy, and like I felt like I needed to sit down. So I was like, guys, I can't do this. There's something here that's not right. And I went back outside. I left the place. Went back outside, turned on the van, turned the air conditioning on, and sat out there while the rest of the crew walked around this property.
Did you get hit with an ulf?
Dude, I don't know what it was. I thought was we had eaten, and I thought that I'd got food poisoned. I thought that whatever I'd gotten a hold of made me sick, because I was ready to puke. I was done. I was like, no more.
Maybe it was just like ultra low frequency.
May have been. I don't know. But there was something that was not right. So anyway, I'm sitting there in the van. After about 10 minutes, I feel fine. And I'm like, that's odd. That was an odd feeling. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the outside of this place, and the whole time you get that that feeling that you get when someone's watching you, like just someone is watching you. But you just you got to kind of look over your shoulder all the time.
Right.
Kept that feeling the whole time I'm there.
Now, did you go back inside the building?
No, I did not go back in.
Okay, so you're just sitting out in the parking lot.
I'm sitting out in the parking lot because I've been in the building one time and it made me physically sick. So went out there and then came back, right? Sit there in the parking lot. Finally, everybody comes out. As soon as you leave the hotel, the road does like a 180 degree like hairpin curve. And below it, there's a Catholic church, looks like a little monastery. And there's all of these statues outside it. So we stopped there and we took pictures because, again, we're just burning. And
right. You got to burn through 5 cameras worth of pictures.
Right. So that's what I was doing. And taking some pictures up there of the hotel and all this kind of stuff, right? So we leave. And I really don't think anything of it. I thought that was an odd thing. I didn't really like the way I felt there. It made me feel sick, and we leave. Go back to Bentonville, Arkansas, spend the next week developing film, and come home on Friday night. Everything was peachy keen. So Crescent Hotel, a few years later, is featured on the same show that you were talking about earlier, Ghost Hunters. Taps goes there.
Nice.
So during their investigation, they actually catch that's one of the few places where they have like video footage that they catch. So this place, a little bit of history about it. This thing was built in 1886. It's originally known as the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa. It was designed specifically to tap into all of the tourist attraction and tourist trade from the springs, the hot springs, because during the late 1800s, early 1900s, everyone thought this spring water, this from Eureka Springs, was like super, super healthy. They would open up all these like spas and almost like Roman, like bathhouses almost, where you go in there, you basically get in the water. It's supposed to be good for you. It cleanses you and all this kind of stuff. Had healing properties. And they thought if we can somehow tap into not necessarily having the spring itself up on the hill, but overlooking this really pretty little town, and we'll be able to house the people coming.
Right. Everybody that comes in here, they can stay here.
They can stay here, go down to the hot springs,
and go down
to
the springs for their treatment.
And that's exactly what they thought. If we can do that, no problem. So during construction of this thing, it takes 2 years for it to get built. One thing that was interesting was the whole structure on the base of the whole structure is made of limestone, and we're talking like it is the limestone itself has got a highly it's highly conductive. So that was an odd thing to start with. The fireplace inside it is made from giant chunks of this limestone that was quarried out, brought up to the top of the mountain, and built. So the whole place was designed almost to use the term that Egon built, or Egon used, was built to like focus and channel supernatural energy. It's kind of what it does.
So what you're saying is they don't build them like that anymore.
They don't build them like they never built them like this. Okay. So during the construction, the 2 years that it was being constructed, Irish masons were the ones brought in to do this work. One of them falls to his death during the construction. From the 5th floor, lands on a terrace on the 2nd floor and dies right there. That room is room 218. There's always paranormal activity that's associated with that room. The 3rd floor has we'll get to the 3rd floor in a second. So you have that's going on, and then you have the hotel itself was not always used as a hotel. after a little while of being a hotel, I want to say it was like 1923, 1924, it closes down. They reopen it as like a dormitory for girls for one of the girls' college during the semester, like while college is going on. During the summer, they open it back up as a hotel. They just kind of flip-flops back and forth.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a seasonal holiday.
So they can keep occupancy.
Right. All year round. Because, Arkansas, it gets fairly cold there. So when it finally does close completely down in 1934, at that point, it stops becoming a hotel. And a few years later, in 1937, a new owner named Norman Baker turned the place into a hospital.
I thought you were going to say Bates.
No.
That's what I thought.
I was like, this
Bates
is
Hotel.
perfect. This is perfect.
Now, Norman Baker, he turned the place into a hospital and health resort. Now, this guy was like the quintessential snake oil salesman. He had convinced people that he had the cure for cancer and would bring people to this hotel where they would receive the treatment, which part of it was the hot springs and this elixir that he had fixed up. Eventually, he is arrested and tried for mail fraud because people were dying so quick in his care that like the federal government comes in and basically says, you got to stop this. So the one thing that they were able to get him on is mail fraud because he was advertising that he had a cure for something that he didn't.
Okay. I was going to say, how did they get him for mail fraud on that?
Yeah. Okay. He was selling this elixir and sending it out,
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
So during that time, though, the hotel itself is being used as this hospital. On the third floor, there's you're supposed to be able to hear a kind of like the gurney being rolled down the hallway. Once it gets to the end of the hallway, you stop hearing it. People have seen a nurse and smelled like that sterile kind of a smell that you get from a hospital. And it always happens after 11 o'clock because this guy's idea was to keep all of the bodies kind of pushed back until after 11 when the other patients would go to sleep. Then they would roll people out that had died. There were so many of them that he had a morgue built there at the Crescent, or had converted a room to a morgue. To this day, it still has his walk-in freezer, his the morgue table, the one where they wash the body and clean the body, and his desk and chair are still down there. So all that is still on the premises.
And he opened up a lucrative mortician's business.
He did. He really did. So 2007 is whenever the Ghost Hunters were there. And
Now, when were you there?
I was there 2004. So this is years
so
before.
recently.
Yeah.
All right.
So Ghost Hunters go in and they do their show, and like I said, this is probably within I want to say this is the first season of Ghost Hunters. I'm almost positive. And while they were there, they had the FLIR camera, which is their thermal imaging camera, and they catch a full body apparition on this thing of a gentleman wearing one of the old Irish style Mason's caps. You can see the number 2 on it. And he nods to them. And he's standing literally within 2 feet of the camera. Wow. When they pass by it, he is right there. So this happens down in the basement. The thought is this is the Mason that fell from the 5th floor down to the 2nd floor, and that was him. The clothing, even you can make out the suit that he's wearing, and it looks like something like a worker would wear. There's also the apparition of a red-haired Irish lady that walks through the recreation room and dining room area and seats herself above the dining room. People see a red-haired lady sitting above them, and there is no red-haired lady that's supposed to be there.
When you say above the dining room, you mean 4 feet off the floor, just
No.
sitting.
Or like
There
on
are
a chandelier or something.
There are places above that where you can look down into the dining room area, almost like causeway, like little, like again, like I said, I made it as far as the front desk, so I
Okay,
can't.
so I'm picturing like these little like
kind of like little
balconies.
alcoves, like balconies, and
like
she's
box seats at a theater or something.
and that's where she is seen.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So all of that takes place, right? And while I was doing a little bit more research on the Crescent, just to get some of the dates and some of the background, I came upon an article that I thought was absolutely it stopped me. Like it was one of those oh crap moments. So the Crescent Hotel and all of its paranormal activity has become almost kind of like a hotspot now for paranormal investigators, and they do the ghost tours and all that kind of stuff there now. So the current owner had a guy come in and do a reading on the property, right? Like the psychics out of California, 2 of them separately come in and do these readings. So here's what was said. So Jack Moyer, the hotel's general manager, he recounted, I clearly remember Carol Heath stating that he had discovered a portal to the other side for those who are on the same frequency. Moyer, a skeptic at the time, laughed and continued, I remembered asking myself, what are we thinking trying to explore this unexplained world? But after more than a decade of working around the paranormal, I now assuredly recognize how many people truly connect to the spirits here at the Crescent. Moyer's he goes on to say that after 18 years, he's been confronted with this realm of coincidence to the point that he is no longer a skeptic. Says, Keith came to me and shared a concern about a phenomenon that had been reoccurring on his nightly tours. This is one of the tour guides. Moyer explained, this phenomenon included multiple guests who had grown faint, with a few passing out briefly at the same tour stop with no reasonable explanation. Then he describes the location, and it was the area that had been identified as the portal more than a decade ago by this guy named Heath. So Scales then took him to the place and pinpointed the portal phenomenon as happening just outside the hotel's annex entrance, exactly where Heath had identified the location of his portal years ago. This is the exact spot, guys, where I walked into the front door and got physically sick.
Wow.
So the phenomenon has guests suddenly turning pale, falling against the wall, then sliding down, almost in a faint, sick to their stomach. Although the loss of consciousness does not last very long and complete recovery is almost immediate, it tends to further substantiate the hotel's legendary supernatural connection to the paranormal, right? Here's something, too, I didn't know. He goes on to say that what made the moment the most chilling was when Keith and I realized that this portal is directly above the morgue located at the bottom level of the hotel.
Wow.
Guys, I was there. I seen it. I felt it.
So did anybody go? Other people went in.
Other people went in.
Right, okay.
No one else was affected by this.
That's fine. Did anybody get any pictures from inside that building?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We were.
Did you get any pictures? You didn't go
No,
in. So you didn't get
no. I have pictures from outside, but I don't have anything from inside. When I made it inside the front door, it's almost like something out of the 1800s. It's like there's a big fireplace. It's got there's furniture sitting around. The desk itself looks like something out of, like something out of the Wild West almost, like where you'd go in and check your mail and stuff. It's that kind of a place. And like I said, I made it as far as that place right there. I made it to the front desk, could see where the fireplace and all that, and then was back out the front door. I was done. I was sick.
Interesting.
So, yeah, That's my, like, I guess, graze in the paranormal.
So you recommend if anybody is sensitive that they don't go to the Crescent Springs Hotel and don't go to this entrance.
Don't stay the night there.
Well, just don't go to this entrance, right?
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I didn't go to anywhere else in there. I went to the front door, just inside, and then back out to the car or to the van because I couldn't handle it. I mean, I was physically ill.
What about you, Kevin? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. The odd thing too. So this article that was this was written October 22nd, 2015. So this is 9 years. No. Yeah. 12 years after I was there. Right? 2004.
Yeah.
11 years. Yeah.
11
years after I was there. I looked this up over the last couple of days and saw that and was like, and I even told, like, I stopped and I told Ashley, I was like, oh my God. I was like, do you remember what I was dealing with whenever I told you about Crescent Hotel? She's like, yeah, you got like sick at the front door. And I was like, read this. And like, she was like, oh my God, really? I was like, I told you.
That's pretty crazy.
It's weird.
I gotta say, I've never that I can think of. I've never had any personal experiences like that at all.
Yeah.
What about you, Kevin? Have you ever encountered anything like that in your personal life?
Nothing that good, but I have, yes.
Oh wow, okay.
Tell us about it.
I've had
if you want to.
I'll tell you one.
Okay.
I had a ghost hunting group, and we went out to Nancy to the battlefield. The blacksmith shop's supposed to be the most haunted, so we went out there.
Now this is Mill Springs, right?
Mill Springs
Battlefield.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Out in Nancy, Kentucky. We went to the blacksmith shop where it's supposed to be. They have a plaque telling you're at the blacksmith shop, and they have some history on it. My group decided, let's just sit here and ask some questions. So they asked, is anyone here? And I kid you not, on the recording, there's a voice.
So you were looking for EVP?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a voice that says, get out. We didn't find this till later. And only one recorder had that on it. We had several recorders with us.
See, that's the thing with something like EVP. Whenever you have 2, 3, or 4 recording devices going simultaneously in different spots, or even setting side by side, and you have one of the 4 or 5 pick something up.
So now you're saying you didn't hear anything
No,
at the time with
No.
with your own ears.
did not.
Now, how clear was it on the recording?
It was very clear.
Like Chris. Now, was it a whisper? Get out.
No, it was more of a get out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love it. I love it.
And another time I got the sound of a musket firing.
I've heard that's fairly common out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, catching musket fire, cannon fire, things like that out at the battlefield on recording devices.
That's got to be hell for the neighbors.
Well, again, you don't hear it while you're standing
okay.
there.
So it's
I didn't
just
hear
on.
anything.
It's EVP.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's EVP. I mean, it just kind of pops up. So, I've been watching a show as well. I don't know what the name of it is. I'm terrible with the names of them, but the group is out of Tennessee, and they have started. I think it's like Haunted City or Ghost City or something like that. And they have this really cool new little device that they're using. I think you were talking about the other day.
It's Ghost Box.
A ghost box, yeah. So this thing, it generates words, and I guess depending on what's going on around it or whatever it's reading, it gives you specific words. So they took this thing.
Okay, hold. You're gonna have to stop. When
Okay.
you say it generates words,
It's
It
audio.
speaks words?
It speaks words, and they also pop up on a little screen, so you can see the word, you can hear the word because it says them. So it's not like it's catching an EVP or anything like that. It's just generating these words.
so is it nonstop, just spouting off
No.
random words? No.
As a matter of fact, it doesn't do it until evidently there's some sort of a spirit or specter around it.
Right.
Okay.
So they took this thing, and it's just random words that it'll generate, right? and they took it to the episode I was watching was they were at Gettysburg, and it started spouting off words like cannon, soldier, Lincoln. I mean, it was like specific things that go right along with Gettysburg, and they're like, we've never had it do anything this accurate. I mean, it's never done anything close to this. And like they were freaking out, and I thought it was just kind of interesting. Like it's one of those things I've got chills right now just thinking about it, just watching the video footage of it doing that. I was like, that's odd. It's one of those things where I was sitting there by myself and in the dark, and I was like looking over my shoulder going, gave me that uneasy feeling.
I get that.
So
That's a weird little tool.
it is. I had never seen anything like it before seeing that show, and Kevin and I were talking about it at school one afternoon, and I was like, okay, they've got this little cool thing that spouts out words, and he's like, oh yeah, a ghost box. So yeah, and you said that they're not expensive, right?
No, about $30.
See, I mean, we need to go ghost hunt now. I've got the itch.
Well, y'all want to go? I still have a ghost hunting group.
Hey, let's go! Yay! We'll turn the skeptics into
Hey,
believers.
you said you've never seen anything
That's
or
true.
experienced, so now's your chance.
All right, we'll get something worked out.
All right.
I'm not against it.
Sounds awesome. Yay!
All right.
It's been a long time since I've ghost
So we
hunted.
had 3 good stories.
Very good stories.
And then a
Yeah.
couple of good personal experiences.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Awesome. I've enjoyed this. I love this.
It's been fun.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you want to find us, we are out there. There's a couple of different ways that you're going to get to see us or hear us. One is facebook.com/2 Minds Podcast.
Or you can find us on Twitter at 2 Minds Podcast.
You can find us on Gmail. Shoot us an email at 2mindspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can look up all of our episodes, this one and all of our past episodes on our hosting site, 2minds.podbean.com.
And it's bean with an N. I
Right.
always get that wrong.
Like the food.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
the food. All right, Claywell, it's been an awesome, awesome night.
It has.
Thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome to come back anytime.
I'd love to.
It looks like we got a bunch of empty glasses here.
We do, man. We got to fill these things back up.
We need to go talk. We need to go make some plans and get this together here in a minute, though.
All right.